undersea adventure. Thank you for
I'm
coming
very
aboard.
happy to be here, and this is Frank Reifsnyder, and you're with Walt Disney Imagineering.
I am, indeed.
And what exactly do you do with Imagineering?
I'm a communications manager with Walt Disney Imagineering, so I work a little bit on all of our projects, from the very beginning all the way to the end, and when we get to show this off to all of our friends in the media and our fans.
And how many years have you been with WDI?
With Walt Disney Imagineering, I've been 5 years.
5
years this month, actually.
Yes, and well, now here we are heading inside, and I see we have Scuttle over here.
We have Scuttle. He's one of our 2 Scuttle figures, all new dialogue. We had to re-record, obviously. Unfortunately, Buddy Hackett passed away
yes.
a little while ago, so but we found the perfect actor who really channels Buddy Hackett and brings him.
And Scuttle
life.
Essentially bookends the attraction,
He
telling
does.
a little bit of a story. Now this is a fairly complex story, as it is originally told in the film. How did you? Oh, we're heading underwater. How were the scenes chosen for this attraction?
Well, we had a number of layouts. If you go to the Blue Sky Cellar, and I'm sure you have, we have a number of the different layouts that we've had. Where we can only build it within a certain size of the parameter of the building because we're limited by what's going on in the attraction. We're on the pier area, so we had to take the size of the building that we wanted to do and just plot out the course, what scenes we wanted. We went through variations.
And so you had to choose, of course, the very iconic scenes
Well,
like
how
this
could we
one.
not have? There are a couple scenes you absolutely had to have, including Ariel's grotto with the who's its and what's its galore, as she just said.
Yes,
so, absolutely.
And then we got to see a nice group of the characters. Since this is the Ariel's undersea adventure.
Right. So the bulk of the attraction obviously is under the sea. You just saw us go underwater through that effect with the bubbles that come up, the cold air blasts in our face. And now we're entering the largest room in the whole attraction.
Yes,
the
the
under
big
the sea
centerpiece.
room. Yeah, with
Kind of the centerpiece of the movie and the centerpiece of this show.
Right.
Can you tell me how many different figures there are in this particular show?
Absolutely. In this one scene alone, there are 128 figures, including 50 spinning starfish that you see all throughout the room.
I see all of those starfish. And of course, we've got dancing turtles. And
we have lobsters, and we have
fish.
the blowfish who blows with his. You can see his cheeks go in and out. You have the Duke of Seoul, and most of the figures, most of the characters you see in this scene, we try to bring back in some form or another.
Right.
And the fun thing is, the more you go through this scene, the more you really can observe and see all the different details.
And of course, Ariel herself.
Absolutely.
Dancing. And of course, there was a great deal of work done to get her hair to look as though she's underwater.
Yeah, in consulting with the Disney animators, they said, oh, like in the film, you've got to do the swirly effect of like an ice cream cone.
Now, how early on were the animators brought in to work on
We were brought in
consulting?
pretty early. We kind of knew where we were going with it. We showed them the plans for the attraction, and wanted to see what their thoughts are, what they could tweak, and we did get some feedback from them in terms of animating Ariel's hair and things like that.
And of course, this next figure, one that a lot of people are waiting on. There was a lot of conversation about how frightening this attraction would be.
Right.
And you've gotten pretty much the feedback that it's been well received by even young children.
I even have personal feedback. I have twins who are 4 years old, and I was a little hesitant at first because she's larger than life character. She's 7.5 feet tall, 12 feet wide.
Wow.
But my twins, I asked them when we were done, this was their favorite scene.
Now inside the crystal ball that she has, is that original animation from the film, or was that newly created for the attraction?
It's newly created for the attraction.
I see.
We have different elements throughout the attraction that's newly created. In fact, we're about to pass one scene in just a moment where Ariel gets her legs.
Ah, yes, the transformation scene right up here. And that swirling effect that tells us that
she gets her legs. She's heading towards the ocean surface, as are we. We're now going up.
With the bubbles rising around us.
And we're about to enter the Kiss the Girl scene.
Right, with the storks raising the curtain, so to speak, on each side. And now this scene was one that we saw in a special features of the DVD. And how much of that had influence on this attraction?
Well, I mean, again, there are certain iconic scenes, this being one of them, that you really had to feature in a Little Mermaid attraction. The team who designed this particular ride, they were aware that there are many iterations of this attraction for, almost since the film came out.
Yes.
But this was original concept that the team came up with.
Right, and then of course she gets her voice back, Love's First Kiss.
Right, and then we have kind of a new and a slightly different ending than the film. We're now at nighttime. This is the reception. You see the fireworks in the sky. You see for the first time on this attraction, you see Triton.
Yes.
I love the little ripples in the water with the
yes,
the projected ripples. And then Ariel and Eric wave goodbye. And then to close out the attraction, we get Scuttle one more time.
Finishing out talking to us. I was speaking to a very big fan of this movie earlier today.
Yeah.
She had been on the attraction, and I said, well, now, what did you think of the ending? And she said, oh, it was so beautiful and just like the film. And I said, well, it's actually not like the film at all.
Not at all,
And
yeah.
she thought for a moment, and she said, it's not, but it's so right.
Yeah.
And how was the decision made to make it different from the film and yet evoke the film?
Well, partly because it's hard to do a daytime scene and black lighting, show lighting that we have. So we wanted to do a nighttime scene for technical reasons and creative reasons. And we consulted with the animators, and they really liked what we were going with at that scene. So.
Well, it makes a wonderful finale and a wonderful attraction. Thank you so much, and I hope all of our readers will get a chance to come down here to California Adventure and see it for themselves.
Absolutely. I hope you all come down and see it. Thank you.